We're at our warehouse storage facility, along with a bunch of birds that won't go away. I know you're the bird that's been pooping on my car. Better get out of here. So let's open the garage door and go inside. Looks like we've got ourselves a 2019 Toyota LandCruiser. Here's a view from the front. A bit narrower than I thought it would be. And here's the side view. It's slightly shorter than the Lexus LX version. And our rear view. If we don't get run over by this train. It's been a long time since I've driven a LandCruiser. I'm glad they sent it to me. So let's take it out and take a closer look. This latest generation of the LandCruiser was introduced back in 2008. There haven't been many changes since then. About the only significant change, they replaced the 6-speed automatic with this more modern 8-speed, which provides about 1 mile per gallon extra on your fuel economy drive. Hooked to the same 5.7 liter V8 we've had for the past decade, 381 horsepower. The fuel economy rating is 13 in the city, 18 on the highway, with an average of 15. We'll be racking up some miles to see how accurate that is in the real world. But that's what you're here for, right? I'm always getting emails from viewers telling me how they enjoy my nighttime headlight tests, something that other YouTubers don't seem to do. So let's just take this out in the dark and see what these bulbs do. We'll do that right now. It's dark enough. Let's see how these headlights perform. Look pretty bright to me. Here we have the low beams on the building 100 feet away. Pretty bright. Go to high beam. Good spread. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away. Plenty of light, good and bright, good height, wide spread. No complaints here. Go low beam. Actually reaches out the whole 300 feet. Very impressive. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in what is mostly total darkness. A little grainy, but it looks better in person than on this cheap camera. It'll do. There are many YouTube and automotive reviewers that say you can tell this is outdated because you have switches and dials instead of a computer-controlled knob that routes everything through the infotainment system. Let me tell you something. If knobs and buttons are outdated, then give me outdated. I want to be able to reach for exactly what I want. I don't want to scroll through a computer infotainment system that's going to break down and be distracting to use. When they break down, you can't fix them. Oh, Toyotas, you don't have to worry about that too much. You want a heated steering wheel, air-conditioned seats, heated seats? Simply press the button on the console here. Very simple to do. More simple push buttons on the left bottom of the dash. Here you have more buttons and knobs. Four-wheel drive low. Mode selector for mud, sand, snow. Locking differential, traction control. This button is supposed to give you more power for better acceleration. I haven't used it yet. And my favorite, instead of a horrible electronic parking brake that all the manufacturers are pushing off on us nowadays. I can't stand those things. I can't tell you why because the video will be too long. Let me just say a manual emergency brake is the only way to go in my book. Especially on an SUV, especially on an off-roader. The LandCruiser does have one interesting feature, a built-in refrigerator. Just press this button, keeps your drinks ice cold, and yes, it does work. On the other hand, you can go down to the discount mart, buy one of these little ice coolers for $10 that does the same thing. And this does take up a lot of space. So while it's handy to have, it's really not necessary, more of a gimmick. This is marketed as an 8-passenger, but I'm kind of skeptical. You have 2 bucket seats in the front. I suppose you could squeeze 3 in here, but it's really designed for 2. And here's the 3rd row seats that are folded sideways to get cargo space. I think you get 7 in here, but I'm not sure where the 8th person goes. Here's one of my little pet peeves. If this was one solid door, I could see having a power system, but really, come on. You can't lift that by yourself? I'm going to disconnect the power feature. It's totally silly for a system like this. Come on. How weak are people getting here? My second minor gripe when I first got this vehicle, it was something like 110 degrees outside, which means this vehicle was sitting, it was like 180 in here. So the first thing I did is try to set the fan speed on the climate control. And I thought it'd be easy because you have all these nice buttons the way we would like it. Couldn't find the fan speed, I was melting. Turns out you have to press this and use the infotainment system to adjust the fan speed and where the vents go. When they could have just put the buttons down there, but they didn't. Alright, that's just the way it is, not a deal killer. Just seems kind of odd. Just in case you're curious, I'm told this can tow 8,100 pounds. If you fold all the seats back, you have 81 cubic feet of storage in here. Must be true. And you take this off-road, which is what it was designed for. You have 9 inches of ground clearance. And if you're wondering about the price, the LandCruiser is top of the line. It's not supposed to come with any options. Supposed to be delivered fully equipped, but like all manufacturers, they just had to tack a few things on. It's a habit addiction they have. $84,000, but if you want that rear entertainment system for the kiddies to watch on a long trip and leather, an extra $2,000. There you go. Now here's the rear entertainment system. I didn't show it earlier, but there you go. Alright, first half of the video show and tell is over. Second half, we're going to go out and do some driving and get some fuel economy figures. Even with the 25-gallon tank, I don't think we're going to get very far. I'm not sure if this power steering is electric or hydraulic, but it feels hydraulic. Heavy enough, so it's okay for me. This is a strong engine, but we're pulling 3 tons here. I wonder if pressing this will make any difference. So let's do a 0 to 60 run. Takes a few seconds to get running, but yeah, just walk right out in front of my vehicle. There's a bar across the street. The drunks keep coming over here. Strong brakes. As we do in all of my videos, we're going to take some mild speed bumps around 20 to 25 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. I've driven this on the street. I found it to be one of the smoothest suspensions I've used in a long time. Yet firm, yet comfortable. This should be interesting. We've got a solid rear axle back there, so there might be some rear wheel jump. Bump number 1. Yep. Didn't feel a thing on the front. Bit of impact on the rear. Number 2. Number 3. And the big nasty one. Pretty smooth. Didn't see much difference. That's mixed commuting mileage with a very light throttle. We'll take this out on the highway, see if we can do better. This LandCruiser's been showing around 12.8 around town, which is actually better than I expected. We'll reset this and take a highway trip. See if we can bump the figures up a bit. If you're looking for an SUV for long highway trips, this might be it. It's very quiet. There's some wind noise around the mirrors, but the vehicle is so well insulated you don't really hear it. It's very comfortable, nice seating position, and the stability is excellent, not affected by crosswinds at all. Nice seats too. I could go from Los Angeles to New York with no issues, well, except for the fuel consumption. That is one disadvantage there, but I'm doing around 17.8 at the moment. Not bad for a monster-sized vehicle that weighs about 3 tons. We're coming to the end of our trip. We'll pull over and see what the fuel economy figure says. Alright, 160 miles. Wow, where'd all my gas go? With the cruise control set at 75 miles per hour, I reached almost 18 miles to the gallon, but I was doing a lot more passing than I anticipated. Still, 17 isn't too bad. Alright, 16.9, but that's close enough, right? These expensive fill-ups are getting to be very annoying. Wow.
Please don't text.
Of course, more annoying are these stupid commercials you have to listen to while you're pumping gas. Oh, it went off. Thank you. Oh, here comes another one.
An LED tail light or brake lamp bulb.
This is the start of a new day. We're going to do some videos in our lab here. Broadcast them all over the world. We're taking our Toyota LandCruiser and do ranch patrol. And we have a lot of land to cover. If you hear rattling noises on this video, it's not the LandCruiser. LandCruisers don't rattle. Toyotas don't rattle. I have a bunch of equipment in the back, and that's what's making the rattling noises. No emails, please. I see the cattle are still missing. Wonder where they went. This cow is in the video I did last week. I guess he's not going anywhere. There's a button on the dash that activates a camera system, giving a front and side view so you don't go tumbling off the side of a cliff. Useful. We've been out here about a half a day, and I'm very impressed with the off-roading ability of this rig. With a high ground clearance, we never bottom out once. The suspension is great. Very smooth, takes ruts and bumps with ease. Very comfortable rig for off-roading. That's the good news. The bad news is, I'm almost out of fuel. This thing really sucks it up. So any additional four-wheeling I was going to do, might have to do tomorrow because I need to find a gas station. It's a shame Toyota doesn't make a diesel that could stick in here. It would give us more torque, better fuel economy. Yeah, jack up the price a bit. Unfortunately, they don't. So be it. One of the disadvantages of the LandCruiser is its wide width. So if you're going on narrow trails like this, it's a tight squeeze, but just the price you pay for having all this room. If you need something narrower, there's always the Toyota 4Runner. That's a pretty nice rig for off-roading too. A lot less expensive too. We're a jillion miles from the nearest paved road, but only in this state would you have a stop sign out in the middle of nowhere. Like if I run it, there's going to be a cop pulling me over. I don't think so. Only 100 more miles to go till we see civilization. Then I think we'll have to wrap up this video because I don't think I can afford to put any more gas in this thing. I really shouldn't be doing this. We're like 50 miles in the middle of nowhere. Well, let's see what happens. Whoa! Yeah. It'll make it when I get to the top. If someone bet me $1,000 I couldn't make it to the top, I'd take him up on it, but no one's got $1,000 that I see. And Toyota wants to pick this up tomorrow morning. If I get stuck on the top, I might have some explaining to do. So I'm just going to have to chicken out, guys. Sorry. That's too bad. I wanted to try the sand setting on this crawl knob. Maybe next time. Looks like we're going to hit our goal of 700 miles. Although it seemed more like 700 gallons. In any case, time to wrap up this video. So what's my take after a week of driving? I can tell you I really like this vehicle. And even though it's 10 years old in design, so what? There's really nothing you can do to improve it. So it's probably good for another 10 years. Although it would be nice to get a diesel under that hood. It gets a total thumbs up from me. In the meantime, here are some video links to other off-road vehicles we've driven lately. Just click and watch. And subscribe, but once again, I need the gas money.